All right, welcome back to Push to Pass. I'm Seth, and really for this week in IndyCar, there's only a couple things I really want to talk about. I thought the race was solid, but there's a few issues I have and a few issues I've been having with pretty much the entire season that I really just wanted to get off my chest, and I'm going to keep it brief. So let's go ahead and talk about them. The two main things I really want to talk about from this, obviously, are the ending of the race restart, the second to last restart, and the Will Power David Malukas incident. So we'll go ahead and start with the restart. IndyCar restarts have been jacked up for basically the entire season. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know how else to put it. IndyCar has tried to make their restarts more like NASCAR, clearly, because they've shortened up the restart zone, quote unquote, if you want to call it that. Guys used to just go when they got into turn 4 or the middle of 3 and 4 or whatever on an oval, and now they're waiting to off of turn 4 or whatever. Very NASCAR of them. I get what they're trying to do, but obviously you're going to end up with situations like this where guys are trying to game restarts because you're putting the leader in a bad spot. And I mean, obviously if Joseph had done the Jimmy Jack thing, which he kind of did, but the vitriolic reaction to it was kind of overboard, if I'm being completely honest, because what Joseph did was maintain relatively a same speed, and then everyone tried to jump the restart behind him. And we've seen this several times in IndyCar in the last several seasons. And for some reason, that's never the guy that gets pinned the blame on, is the guys trying to jump the restart. It's always the leader who, quote, didn't go, even though once the green comes out, they can go around him. It's not against the rules. So if he really was doing that, and it's not like what Colton Herta said. Also, Colton Herta does shit like this on restarts all the time. Maybe not this, but he's always trying to jump a restart, always trying to do this and that. So I don't really want to hear about it from him. He's kind of a hypocrite in this regard, I would argue. But yeah, so I mean, they can all be wrong, to be honest. And Rossi wasn't paying enough attention, unfortunately, and that's what it is. Now, Will Power crying about it is hilarious to me, because the reason they had that restart entirely was because he wrecked the hell out of David Malukas. And there's no real other way to put it. And that kind of brings me into the title of this video, where I don't really understand. IndyCar wants to be NASCAR right now, at least on ovals, so bad. And it's clear and evident at this current moment that they want to be NASCAR. They don't, quote, want to have to make a call, don't want to make, quote, balls and strikes calls. Basically just, telling you what Jordan Bianchi would if he had an IndyCar podcast. But I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. I understand NASCAR is popular at the current moment, and by popular, I mean in America it's popular, but it's not helpful for you to want to be NASCAR but open wheel. It doesn't make any sense. You need to be the anti-NASCAR if you're IndyCar. You're wondering, like, why don't we have people watching? The goal isn't to be NASCAR. The goal is to be a different thing entirely. You can't just copy it and expect it to work. And these things, I mean, they did it in the Indy 500 too. Guys used to go in the short chute on restarts or into turn 4 or whatever, and now they have to wait till they're all the way off turn 4, and there's like a restart zone now. It almost caused several incidents in the Indy 500. In fact, last season, it did cause an incident. That's why we had to have a red flag and a second, not had to, but that's why we ended up with a second red flag and this big controversy, because they wouldn't let the leader go early. So he got swamped, and they felt like, oh shit, we're gonna screw the leader out of this because, we didn't let him go soon enough. That's really what happened here. Obviously, I'm sure people, Joseph won, so it's not cool or whatever, but I don't really know. I don't get it. I'm kind of sick of it. Again, there's plenty of things I don't like about NASCAR, and there are things that are starting to become in IndyCar. And I'd really like to just see some order restored to the IndyCar space. So anyway, that's really all I had for this one. Obviously, Joseph Newgarden won. That didn't impact the championship very much. Will Power's still about 50 points behind Alex Palou, and it's starting to look bleaker and bleaker as far as a championship battle goes. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know about it. Let me hear about it.
Comments are always good no matter what. I don't really care. So anyway, we'll be back to talk about, I think, Portland's next week. I apologize. Portland's next week, and then there's a Milwaukee doubleheader, which I won't get to watch any of live, but we'll get there. And then I'm planning on being in Nashville. So we're on the home stretch for IndyCar this season. So comment if you want, like if you want, dislike if you want. I don't care. We'll see you guys later on the next edition of Push to Pass.